All right. Hey, YouTube land. My name is Rob. I'm 51 years old. I live in Los Gatos, California, in Northern California. And I'm going to tell my story about the news I got from my doctor about 2 months ago. So I was plugging away in my normal day life. And I got a email from my doctor saying, hey, you need to call me. We did a CT scan 2017 and we found something on it regarding your heart. Don't worry, just call me. Right? So, of course, you're going to worry. So I called them up, and apparently I had a CT scan done in 2017 on my shoulder for a muscle injury. And there was no dye contrast, but at that time, they shot a picture of my chest and my shoulder. And I have no idea to this day. I just asked my doctor again today how they found out 2 years later, but they did find out that I had an ascending aortic aneurysm. So, of course, I freaked out like everybody else would, right? And I believe the CT scan 2017 showed it was like 4.7 or maybe 4.8. I'm not sure, 4.7 probably, but it's a pretty blurry image unless they have dye contrast. So the first step was to go in and get a echocardiogram. So I did that. I actually fell asleep on the table. The nurse was laughing. She said, "You're the first person who's ever fallen asleep on the table. I've been doing echocardiograms because most people are so nervous." But I just came from work. I work a physical job. So it was kind of nap time for me. But anyway, got that done. Came back that it was around the ascending aortic aneurysm was about 4.9. But then they mentioned that that's not the clearest picture either. So they scheduled a CT scan with a dye contrast, which I'm allergic to the dye, unfortunately. So I had to prep for that and get ready for that. So I did the prep, went in, and the conclusion was that it was about 5 centimeters or 5.1 centimeters. So the next step was to go to the genetics department, and that took another 2 or 3 weeks. Actually, it took 4 weeks for the genetics testing to come back. And I didn't test, they test 25 of your genes to see if you pop for one of the genetic dispositions where if you were genetically, predisposed to have a ascending aortic aneurysm, that changes the scale of things. They would move things along a lot faster. I didn't pop for a negative or a positive, of course, because it's me. I popped for variant unknown detected. So the geneticist and the counselor that was in on that appointment said, it's not to say that you don't have a genetic disposition, but we just don't know yet as of now, with the technology that we have. So that did not help calm my nerves. So then I met with the cardiologist and we went through options, and I told him, I have a physical job and that's my concern, is that I'm lifting heavy things and operating heavy equipment, and it's part of my daily job. At which point he said, well, maybe you should choose a different profession, which, I spent 25 years in tech to do the job that I really wanted to do and love. And so that wasn't the answer I wanted to hear. So I asked what my other options were, and he said surgery. And since I don't have a genetic disposition for the aortic aneurysm, they said that, 5.1 is within the realm of doing surgery. So if I did the surgery, which is open heart surgery, that I would not have to be on a lifetime weight restriction, meaning lifting things. So right now it's in my HR file that I am no longer able to lift anything over 50 pounds. And then I would have to be on the beta blockers, which is a whole nother story because I am also a runner. And the beta blockers make you feel like you are carrying a 50, 60 pound rucksack and not going anywhere. And I noticed my heart rate doesn't get up like it used to be. Typically, I would peak at 185 to 200 beats per minute at extreme exercise. Now it's like 120, I think. But the main concern is I just feel exhausted while I'm running, and it just feels like you're carrying something really big on your back, and you're sluggish, and it's not a real good way to run. And so, but I'm going to continue running because I want to be healthy going into my surgery. So, anyways, that's kind of the story so far. What I'm going to be doing is documenting my process, because when I went onto YouTube, I really couldn't find too much on the ascending aortic aneurysm. So on my next video, I'm going to post what the meeting with the surgeon was like and what happened in that meeting, and then what my next steps are. And I'm going to try to keep these, 5 to 8 to 10 minutes long, just because I know I get bored after 10 minutes of listening to somebody. And believe me, I've done a ton of research online and watched a ton of videos, but it's hard to find videos that are specific to the ascending aortic aneurysm. So we'll get into that one next time. And if you have any questions, post it. I'm going to be reading all the comments, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.